Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 439 of Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am here today in pretend low Earth orbit with two of the finest geeks you're ever going to meet. We got ourselves Rob Roseboom.
Hey there.
And Chris DeBona.
Hi, everybody.
Are we there yet? Are we having fun? Everybody's cool? Been a good weekend? We're safe? Warm?
So I'm allergic to tree pollen, and this was the weekend tree pollen came back.
Oh, good.
Woke me up at 3 a.m. last night with tree pollen allergy symptoms. So.
I actually have a similar problem, which is that I've had a really bad eye itch for now several days. And it's never clear to me if this is like because there's a particle stuck in my eye or if this is just allergy season. Normally for me, allergy season is the fall, but I do get some in the spring too.
It might be eye cattle worm.
Oh, great.
I remember a few months ago there was a case where cattle worm broke the species barrier and there was a woman who ended up having it. So
okay, I'm gonna Google this because this sounds awful.
I got a good idea. Let's not ever look at the photo.
Nope. Closing the nope.
Undo.
Unsee.
On the scale of 1 to absolutely horrific, it's closer to 1, I think, than absolutely horrific. But I've seen some shit. So
I feel like eyes in particular get like a bonus to feeling horrible when you see the suffering of an eyeball. Like you can punch somebody in the stomach a lot, and then you're like, all right, whatever, you just got punched in the stomach. But if you do the thing that the kid did in high school where he could turn his eyelids inside out, that is nasty. I would rather watch somebody being punched in the stomach than do the thing where they just touch their eyeball with their finger.
Well, let me ask you a question, Rob. What is it about mucous membranes and the vermilion layers between, the interior and exterior of the body that grosses you out?
Well, let's talk about osmosis. Let's talk about infection. Let's talk about get shit out of my eyes.
Yeah. So that whole trend in Japan of eyeball licking wasn't your thing?
Actually, I was saying to Kathleen last night, actually, my eye kind of hurts. I asked, do you want to lick my eyeball? Maybe, if there's actually something in there, maybe it would work.
I wonder if, if that's really a Japanese thing, or we were just told that because Japanese are wacky, and was that just racist?
We're prone to believe it.
Yeah,
Well, if you are...
Was America the creator of the wet willy? I'm wondering if this is just projection.
Well, Joe Willie, inventor of the wet willy, when he see, it was weird that his last name was Willie. Well, okay, so I've seen an awful lot of things that are created by Japanese culture that I'm fairly certain are not like things that are actively problems in Japanese culture. Like the tentacle stuff. Like I'm pretty sure that if you go walking around Roppongi at 1 a.m, that you don't actually have to worry about demon aliens.
Not a whole lot of giant robot attacks either. That's
I have to tell you though, I stayed close to Roppongi last time I was in Japan. It was pretty nice. I don't know if they've been gentrifying, but it was fun. It was lovely. It wasn't weird or anything. And the first time I went to Japan, I went around with Alex. What was his last name? Reader. Yeah. Went around with him. He showed me around. It was still just cool,
Yep.
So maybe I don't see sin the way that you guys do.
Alex is one of my favorite people. Are you on his Christmas mailing list?
No. We didn't know each other that well. you guys know him a lot better.
Sure. No, he does like all these weird art projects, and is into like all the makerspace stuff. Like he's doing things that I wish I was doing with my life. It's pretty amazing.
Have you considered being better at life, Mr. Martin?
Yeah, I think he might be doing better at life. But he's like always building weird art installations and doing weird manufacturing projects for people. He's really impressive. But also his kids are cute and all that.
Oh, that's cute.
Let's see. Westworld yesterday was actually pretty good.
Was it?
Okay, so the drug that they used was next level awesome.
That was kind of exciting. Yeah.
Like by the end of that episode, Kathleen and I are like yelling at each other, like, "What's the next genre gonna be?"
Yeah, I like the genre thing. I like the idea of a psychotropic that also hacks your interface or whatever
Mm-hmm.
to do stuff. And during the recap afterwards, they talked about it a little bit. They obviously had a great time, or at least Jesse Pinkman did, in filming that. But it. I don't know. It just left me a little cold. I don't know why. I'm looking at like a recap so I can sort of remember my feelings. So
Fair enough. I actually really enjoyed it because they're connecting the dots. They're putting it all together. They spent 4 episodes putting pieces on the chessboard, so it's nice to actually start seeing stuff start to resolve.
Yeah, I still haven't dared start season 3 after season 2, but
Episode there I would say I
haven't
think that
dared.
last night was episode 7, and I would say that 4 of the 7 have been really good, but 3 of them have been really yawners.
Yeah.
I'm also caught up on Devs. If you have anything to say about that, I like that show. I like that show a lot.
Well, I don't think I'm ready to move on yet.
right.
So what I honestly, I loved the music.
Yep.
That went along with the genre switches. Like
Yep.
when they hit Train Spotting,
Yep.
and Iggy Pop. I was pretty sure that was Train Spotting. What did you?
I assume that was. I don't remember if that song was actually on the Train Spotting soundtrack or if it was just another Iggy Pop song.
We're not clubbing, right? We're
not clubbing. Yeah. When that song was up, Kathleen was like jumping out of her chair. She was so excited to see them doing that. Because when they did the first of the genres, we were like, "Oh my god, you are trying way too hard." And then the second one was like, "All right, you win. You get to do this. You earned it."
How did Train Spotting soundtrack resurrected Iggy Pop?
I wasn't sure. We were trying to figure out. They said the last genre was reality. I wasn't sure if I think that in one of the scenes they weren't lighting it like you would like it was almost lit with cell phones, like natural lighting, like no fans and like I don't know, man. That's clever.
Yeah. No, so it wasn't Train Spotting. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't see any other movies. Internet Movie Soundtrack Database. Where are you at?
Let's see, what else do we have on our list today? I mean, I liked Devs a lot this week.
Yeah, tell me about it. Wasn't too violent for you? There wasn't 96 minutes of tortures?
It's weird that you can fit 73 minutes of torture in a 41-minute TV show, but somehow Devs managed to do it. No, no, I liked it. They built up to like the kid on the dam scene, like that was really cool, and they did all of the really cool. They've been doing it throughout the season at varying degrees of effectiveness, where they're using the robot cam to have multiple copies of the same people walking through scenes. And they've been really sort of amping that up, I think, as the season's been going on. And it's very effective.
Is there anyone here who didn't think Allison Pill was going to push the kid off the dam?
I really thought she was.
I was sure she was going to push him off the dam.
I was expecting it too.
I mean, because that would be
just the worst.
Terrible, really awful.
But again, I really love, like, just from a storytelling perspective, I love that they have the little kid and then the super old fat bearded guy who you could imagine just being the Unix hacker that you've known since the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is so great. And like him dissing, I actually like that he was dissing on Nick Offerman for not knowing his history. Like that is straight up conversations that we've probably all had
so many times.
Also, I was a little bit worried that the homeless man was going to end up being Jesus or like some sort of supernatural presence. So I'm glad that he had a reveal that didn't involve the supernatural. So
yeah, that was
there's that.
We were just going back and forth on whether or not he worked for Offerman or he was going to be a true wild card. So I liked the way that they handled it. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, I was worried he was going to end up being some sort of like, time entity that was there to stop mankind from doing something crazy.
Right?
I'm like,
I'm Section 31. I'm the time
right,
police.
exactly. So I was very pleased with that.
So we haven't been talking much about this because neither of you guys are watching this, but you should really be watching Future Man, because Future Man this season straight up has time cops.
I was so close to starting Future Man, but then I remember hearing Cliff say that it was terrible, and he likes Dragonheart. So
Wait, Dragonheart the movie with like
yes,
yes.
So
that wasn't so good.
This season of Future Man has actually been great because now like the show has really figured out what it is that you want to see, which is these characters are insane and let's just put them in different times and make them be insane. But what's great is that they pick stuff up. They were stuck in the 80s for a while and one of the characters became like a chef in a celebrity restaurant and they carry that through. Holy crap.
Is that Jeff Bates?
That is Jeff
It
Bates.
is me. I had a few minutes between going from one meeting to the next one, and I thought that I would stop in and say hi. Also, Chris, I like your green screen, but
it's not good.
No, like it's making your head look
okay. It's just
it's like we took you to the to the tire shop and we're like, rather than shave the tire, I would like you to realign Chris's head.
No, Chris is half predator now. That's what's happened.
Oh
no, where's my iced tea? This is the best thing about it. Watch.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
I must kill a Minnesota governor.
I'm not sure what's worse, watching poor Rob 4 seconds lag and turning into like an 8x8 pixel blur, or watching random holes appear inside of Chris.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna drop a backdrop behind me.
Inside of Chris.
Okay, that's really gross, dude.
That's right. Hey Jeff, I finished your pen.
I know. I saw. I retweeted you
choice
on the internet. Thank you very much.
That's
well, yeah, it's the closest one he's made to /green yet.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
I have a stack of 5 /green teal pens that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I don't. That one turned out really well, actually. I'm really happy with that. But I wanted to do one that was like a black and gray and a white, and like do some striping and everything through it, and like be really fancy and nice. But every time I do that, I spend like hours and hours and hours on it, and then it explodes, and then I'm very sad for like 2 days, and I just can't handle that kind of rejection.
So you should stop using antimatter in your varnish. That seems like a clear oversight.
And you shouldn't try to fire treat your nitrocellulose lacquers. You know.
Yeah, I was going to say exploding pens sound like a win, no matter what.
Have you considered going to work for Mossad?
Sure.
I do. So I have 2 stories somewhat relevant to, well, they're relevant to Slashdot and this, that both involve organic chemistry. So one of them was my favorite part of organic chemistry for the experiment section was, one of the tests you do is, they give you the compound, you have to figure out the unknown, is you can nitrate them and, figure out from there. And so his important lesson beforehand was, if you think that you have, toluene, do not do the nitration test until you have tested that. We don't need to make liquid TNT here in the lab. That was also the same part of the organic can. I had CowboyNeal in my organic chem lab. That was also the lab where he managed to light the entire hood on fire, which was particularly impressive.
Because it was metal.
Yeah, and had active suction going and was on. He was using, I forget what it was, but it's one of those chemicals that even if it's exposed to air, it's like, I'm ready to be on fire. I've been ready to be on fire my whole life. Yes, pyrophoric. Yeah, and then the tube slipped, and then the hood was on fire.
That was the day that CowboyNeal burnt down Hope College.
Yeah, they had to evacuate the entire science building and everything. It was yeah.
But
and
you know,
then,
how many great nights start with the saying, and then the tube slipped, you know?
well, that's how Chris has ended up with so many holes in his body.
That's true.
That's true.
The tube slipped.
And then
I was once doing a childish chemistry experiment when I believe I was 13 or 12 in the garage at my house, and it was just a steam explosion, but it blew up, and I was wearing glasses because this was before I had LASIK, and the entire garage, the car, everything were covered in these little purple spots until we moved out. So it was just phenolphthalein everywhere. It was amazing. And my dad, who was a man of temper, he was just like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, because I had little purple spots too for a little bit, and like, it was just, yeah. I realized I probably wasn't going to be a lab chemist.
That was the moment you figured that out.
Yeah.
I had a similar experience about maybe a little bit younger. I wanted to see what green dragon breath was like, since it was chlorine gas and all the rest seemed like they were deadlier.
Oh, no.
So I tried to make chlorine gas in a bucket and came into the house just with snot running out of my nose, coughing, eyes red. The whole garage smelled like a clean pool for about 3 months. It was fantastic.
It smelled like World War
The
I.
Germans have been ignoring the Geneva Convention.
And it turned out I had more respect for green dragon breath after that. Oh, yeah, that'll totally kill you.
Yep.
And
It's
it also
totally-
makes you more vulnerable to COVID-19. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, the upshot then of that is then once you read the Dragonlance novels, you were like, well, I can completely understand how Sylvanos has fallen. I mean, that means Cyanos is using green dragon breath. Wasn't that his name?
Cyan Bloodbane. Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
Cyan Bloodbane.
We're coming back to Rob's exploding pen because you're using cyanoacrylate, right? As your polishing medium or whatever.
Yup.
So it all comes back to the pen.
That's true. It's circle of life thing.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, you'll get your pen when the post office works again, or else when we go to breakfast again. Remember, Jeff, when we used to go to breakfast, like maybe once every week or two?
Yeah, I remember.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
I do have your cookies if you want them.
You didn't actually eat all of Kathleen's
No, of course I didn't do that.
It's funnier if you did.
Yeah, of course it's funnier if I did, but I couldn't. I can't do that. That's just
excellent. We'll arrange an exchange where like we wipe down our packages and leave them under a tree.
I mean, or I could just leave them on your front porch. I mean, I don't know if you want to walk through the yard, but I mean,
go for a walk around my block at a 6-foot distance. Jesus,
it sounds like we're courting in the Victorian era.
Yeah.
Would you like to accompany me for a walk around the block?
those weird.
First, I must have my chaperone stand between you.
I'm bringing back the love letter hardcore.
That's why
by hardcore, I mean the content. Wait till you see my love letters.
They're the best love letters.
This pen is a fountain or is a ballpoint pen. If you're going to be doing the love letters, you really need like a feather and quill.
Yes. You have to make the quill yourself too.
Are so hardcore. They feature the phrase "pile driver" no less than 37 times.
And I write them. I write them with blood and an old chicken bone.
Yes.
Not creepy.
Totally that's safe. Love.
That's
love.
And they're written on uncured leather.
Is it like the leather like that they would use if they were going to make a skin suit, like Edgar or perhaps Hannibal?
Let's not be ridiculous.
You
Rob.
have a very different memory of the A-Team than me.
Yeah.
At no point did Face make leather out of face.
I pity the fool who don't answer my love letters.
I pity the fool who doesn't kidnap elephants and go over the Alps.
Shut up, drink your milk. Don't look at the tattoos on your butt when you wake up, BA.
I pity the fool who doesn't
Wait,
cross the
what
Rubicon.
A-Team were you watching?
Yeah, really.
That's a different A-Team, buddy.
We're getting into very, very specific alternative A teams now. I think we should probably move on.
Yes. We have to collapse the wave function
very
of these
personal.
multiverses.
Didn't they give BA milk in order to drug him to put him on airplanes?
Yeah,
Sometimes.
I don't think they were tattooing his butt afterwards.
But that's how you would leave a letter.
They also just gave him
I think the only time to tattoo Mr. T is while he's sleeping,
That's what I'm saying.
or whatever, But at the same time, it's not one of my life goals.
That's true. Plus,
Hey, Rob's back.
He seems like an old, nice guy now.
Right? I pity the fool who doesn't respect his
and he
need
beat
for
cancer.
a good piece of fish. Yeah.
You did?
So, Rob, Carol Baskin is freaking out because there's drones flying over her place now.
Of course there are.
That bitch Carol Baskin from Florida.
You mean that lady
I'm not
who killed
saying anything.
her husband and ground him up?
That wasn't me.
Is it really though? I haven't seen any of Tiger King yet. Yes, I will watch it.
But Jeff, it's Tampa. It's Tampa, Florida. That's
yeah,
all you
what I
really
was going to say is like, based on everything I've heard thus far about Carol Baskin and this dude, I'm kind of like, yeah, that's probably fine that she fed him to the tiger. That's probably fine.
Well, that guy we never meet, the guy that theoretically was fed to the tiger, like he's like just backstory.
That's because
isn't he the one who like picked her up though when she was like a 19-year-old hitchhiker and he was like 497?
Yeah, it's only like
he was
30 or 40 or something. Wasn't like
he was actually a vampire,
crazy,
a 500-year-old vampire.
It's actually he was Lestat, which is the Florida version of Anne Rice's famous. Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Less Pat instead of Lestat?
Yeah. Although I've always assumed it was pronounced like French, not Lestat.
Lestat.
We are none of us on here is qualified to pronounce that correctly.
It would be in Creole, right?
Nor have I ever actually read an Anne Rice novel.
Really?
Really?
Me neither, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I've never done that.
I'm not interested.
Yeah, you're not a reader.
I don't read. I don't have time for books.
No, you do actually. You just
you have nothing but time. I mean, really.
That's true. And to be fair, I do nothing but read. I just don't read anything of value.
That's true.
That's so true. just like labels and ingredients and stuff like that. I got you.
Yeah, it's mostly like top 10 lists of places you can tattoo Mr. T.
Hence the tolling explosions.
Yep.
So, Jeff, I'm surprised you haven't brought up this is the nature of why cleaning establishments like laundries were not allowed in downtown areas, because they would use tolling as their mechanism for cleaning. The original dry cleaning would use tolling. And so there were so many explosions and fires at cleaning establishments that they ended up banning them from city centers.
Huh. So, all right.
There you go. That seems like right up your alley.
That is right up my alley.
I read that in a book, Mr. Malda.
They used to do some crazy stuff with cleaning agents like that. Like it used to be very common for housewives to use gasoline to clean clothes too that were incredibly stained. They actually made a short about how not to burn up your house while you're cleaning your clothes with gasoline.
Yep.
So duck and cover, and don't burn your house down with gasoline.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because we have a bunch of Superfund sites around the Bay Area, and a bunch of them are tetrachloroethylene, which is used in chip making, but it's also used in dry cleaning. Mm-hmm. Aha! So there you go.
Yes. Yeah, it turns out that is a chemical that gets used in a lot of things. Or compound?
Yeah, it's a compound.
Yeah, it's a compound. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's also used in the making of rocket fuel. And if you look at the explosions at Morton Thiokol in Utah and in San Jose at I don't know, those were all perchloroethylene explosions. So it's very exciting.
Welcome to Chemistry Talk here on Geeks in Space.
You mean, is it chemically excited?
Whoa! Our
yeah.
bonds are strong.
I think it's pretty
Let's see. I have, let's see. Oh, Rob, I shared an article for you about drive-in movie theaters. They're coming back, man.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. But in the age of
they're
social,
going to come back for like the next 3 months, and then they're going to be gone. Yeah.
I have the drive-in in Coldwater. It's about an hour drive from here. We go to it quite a bit in the summer. It's kind of nice. But yeah, it's not.
Yeah, like I think that one will still be around, but there's not going to be a resurgence in drive-in movie theaters.
No,
there's not going to be a resurgence in anything.
No one is
resurgence in movies.
No one's going to buy all that land and erect, screens and do all that crap.
No,
that's not going to happen.
No.
No, I think generally everyone who believes there's going to be some sort of huge changes that occur because of everyone staying from home is vastly underestimating the human desire to return to everything being the way that it was beforehand.
Yep. It's going to take years.
Yeah, people don't change overnight. Like, I mean, the Spanish flu was far worse. And essentially when it was done, everyone's like, can we get back to the 20s? Because that sounds great.
Great Depression sounds pretty refreshing right now.
Yeah. Well, they had good. They were roaring.
Oh, right. Roaring.
Wait,
when was Prohibition? When did that kick off?
Well, Prohibition is kicked off in the 20s. 1920, I believe. Is
Imagine you just lost, however percent of our population to the Spanish flu, and then they're like, and you can't drink.
December 5, 1920.
I even got the year right. I was gonna say 1921 because I was like, I think maybe that's when it kicked in, but I can see why now.
Yeah, it's funny. So there was an article, I want to say 5 years ago, and it was basically an analysis of census data going back 150 years or so. And they said, there's this really weird gap between 1910 and 1930 and the Great Depression where a bunch of people died. And it's like, that might have just been the Spanish flu.
Right? Yeah.
Census workers didn't want to go out. It sounds familiar.
Sure.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I had never realized this, during the Great Depression, the average lifespan of people actually went up. Like there is
they couldn't drink?
No, they could drink then at that. But actually people tend to think that like depressions will drive down the human mortality, but no, people live longer because of it.
They can't afford sin.
Yeah, they can't afford as much sin. They don't go out as much. They can't do all sorts of other things. And the impact of like suicide and all of that of increased suicide is less than the flip side.
I imagine accidental deaths go down quite a bit.
Bingo. Yeah.
I think also homemade wines in 2-liter bottles is probably like a secret drug that like is like Advil. I'm trying to think of like Hobo remedies that turned out to be remarkable or something.
I thought that was just like a bad Jack Kerouac poem that you were subjecting me to.
No, he's talking about the medicinal power of s'mores.
Right. These are medical grade.
Hobos to thank for s'mores?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but I think Hobos invented s'mores. I mean, there was a lot of campfires and stuff. I mean,
the ingredients were there.
Yeah.
What else do you think
count on it? But
what else do you think they're keeping in those bags on the ends of those sticks? That's all marshmallows and graham crackers.
That's all marshmallow. Yeah. And that's how you tell you got to
using sticks and bandanas.
The red bandanas are marshmallows. The blue bandanas are graham crackers.
Yep.
Is this how Hobo signs actually developed?
That is how Hobo
they're-
signs started. Actual very complex recipes.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a chocolate hobo who lives in the north side of the tracks.
A recipe-based language, if you will.
I mean, to be clear, he is not made out of chocolate. He is just the
He
chocolate.
has the
hobo.
bandana filled with probably, I mean, it's the Depression, so it's probably like knockoff Hershey's, whatever that would be.
No, I would guess actually probably whatever chocolate they had would be better and way more bitter at that point.
Probably.
So of course, at this point, I am reminded
that your hair makes it look like
I don't know if I can pull this off, but pay attention to me. So graham crackers, all right, were created by Sylvester Graham, who was a Presbyterian minister and a famous vegetarian and temperance movement person, right? So graham cracker, graham bread, graham flour all came out of his weird sort of wellness thing, right? Anyway, so one of the people who was an adherent to Graham's philosophy was Horace Greeley. Okay, now Horace Greeley, you might remember, is the person they've named a ton of things in Colorado and California and Utah after, right? His wife, now this is exciting. His wife hated him. Okay. And I'm trying to remember her name.
I feel like I'm going on a trip, but no one will tell me where I'm going. The windows are blacked out.
Now, Mary's maiden name is Mary Cheney. And she's like a great grand aunt of Dick Cheney.
I thought you were going to connect this all to Kellogg's.
Well, no, it's too easy. That's the easy path, right? So,
no.
There you go. That's what I wanted.
This is like a West Michigan after church when the old ladies are like figuring out who is second cousins to each other. That's what I just witnessed.
And what happened next, Grandpa?
Well, in the 1850s, she apparently suffered from consumption, and it took 20 years for it to kill her, but that's what killed her.
Welcome to Reading with Chris.
Did I just witness?
And how are the hobos involved in all this?
Well, it's obvious, right? I mean, the whole hobo movement was sort of they
started by Phil Hobo,
but no, the hobos are involved because they carried graham crackers,
second
their
cousin,
blue bandanas.
Right, I got it. Okay.
So,
all right, guys,
that's how the hobos are involved.
I have one last thing to say on this week.
Dick Cheney's fault.
Definitely Dick Cheney's, but no, we got a sad one. John Horton Conway died from the COVID, the inventor of life.
Did he actually die? Because I saw unsourced reporting yesterday that said he died, but then no one could find a source.
Okay, well, there's like YouTube clips of it now that say he's alive.
All right, then
he's on YouTube.
I don't know. He was kind of a trickster, so I think that at this point he's just like, yeah, I've died. Sure, okay, sure.
He's like, I am both the creator of the game of life and also I might be dead. Try to wrap your brain around that more.
And creator of the game of life and master of it.
Immortal. I did link an interview with him on Taco Zone, which is actually interesting because they actually asked him about, because he was not like, life was not like a big deal to him, but it's the only thing he's ever going to be remembered for. And it's kind of funny to like listen to him kind of like make his peace with that through gritted teeth. It's amusing.
Yeah,
he was a remarkable mathematician and teacher and researcher, and he also created a dippy little cellular automated game that everyone knows him for. So.
Yep.
It's nice to be known for something, I suppose. We're at the 34-minute mark, gentlemen.
Yeah, we should wrap up.
Jeff Bates.
Hello, goodbye.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Chris DeBona.
Goodbye, everybody. Stay
Rob Roseboom.
safe.
Goodbye.
This has been episode 439 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Mulder. If you're wondering how much a John Conway is, it's like, I don't know, probably 180 pounds.
Oh, God.
Oh, really?
That's the best I got, man. It was either that or a Carol Baskin drone thing.
Was that a pre-Brexit pound or?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it just keeps getting worse.
All right, now let's just go lick each other's. Now, dude, I put the slides up so we can lick each other's eyeballs now.
Ugh.
I'm digging it deeper, baby. Bye.